Hello, welcome to Chop Shop Motors. My name is Clay. Thought I would do kind of a wrap up on the floorboards for the 64 Falcon. So where we left off, I think the last video that you saw, we had 2/3 of them in, welded in, and there was only the driver's side front to do. So I have finished up the front driver's side floorboard. I welded it in. I used some seam sealer, SEM seam sealer on it. Wow, that stuff is really cool. The other thing that's cool about it is it's paintable almost immediately, so it really does a nice job of doing just what it says it's supposed to do, the seam sealing. So I did that, and then I cleaned the floor all up and put a coat of Wimbledon white on over the primer and the seam sealer, and that's as far as I'm going to take the floor on it. It probably is farther than I needed to. I just like them. I like the work to look all finished, just like it would have, when it was new. So I don't particularly like leaving them kind of splotchy and then just coming over with the insulation. So that's my preference, and so that's what I did. Other than that, some of the stuff that we'll do next is I will get the motor and the transmission kind of sorted out, bolted together, get the clutch and flywheel, pressure plate and all that figured out, and then I'll pull the front fenders off of the car and do the little bit of work that's needed to get ready to paint the under hood and fix a couple blind nuts that have broken free. We'll get those detail things fixed up, and then I'm ready to slide the motor in it. So those are kind of the next steps. We've got some work to do on the 72 Ford F100 that came back from the paint and body shop. So that's another video all its own. It's exciting to have it back at Chop Shop Motors. So we got to put some chrome back on it and start making some headway there. So yay when they start to come together. So let me show you the floor here, and we'll kind of wrap up this short little video. The floor is not primered or rusty or any of that anymore. The floor is now painted, sealed, and basically looks like a complete car in here. Kind of nice to see it that way. I painted up to the top of the hump where the inside of the trunk had been painted. I just met up with that. I painted the under area where the back seat will go. And then obviously I painted the floor area where I had done the work. I also put in the small rubber hole covers where those need to go. So the floor is more or less sealed up like it would have been. Got a helicopter flying over, which is not that common. So let that fly by. This side over here is done, and it had the panel for this left side had a patch welded into it, the one I bought. So you'll notice the floor detent has a little different detail to it than the one on the passenger side. But I'm fine with that. For this car, that's going to be fine. It's nice and solid, and it should work out well. I don't care that it's a little bit different. This side over here has now got a floorboard with a patch that had been patched. So somehow that feels right for the stuff that I'm working on. So that's that. I look at it longingly just as I'm videotaping this. I'm really happy with the way it turned out, and the bigger part is now I can get the motor in it. So other than that, I think that wraps it up for this video. It's going to be pretty doggone short. and we'll show you some more progress. I think next thing that'll happen on the inside of the car is going to be sand and paint the sheet metal that is turquoise, kind of turquoisey here, back to the dark metallic blue. That's what it was originally in this car. They painted it turquoise. So we'll paint it back to the dark metallic blue interior color. And at that point, I mean, I'm more or less done with heavy stuff on the inside of the car. I can then put the headliner in and we'll buy a carpet kit for it. I've got some work to do to the tunnel piece. It's got a couple pieces chopped out of it, so we'll fix that. But I don't know, feels like we're getting closer. I'm Clay for Chop Shop Motors, and we'll see you on the next project.